everyone, hope you're having a great day. So today we're going to be talking about The Cats Came Back by Sophia Kelly. This one's a little outside of what I normally read. Usually if you're here, because I read a lot of young adult fantasy, lots of young adult fiction. This is not young adult, it is an adult mystery. It's great, and it has magical cats. It's a magical cats mystery. I first got into this series with book 9. Yeah, yeah, book 9. This is book 10. I received an arc from Penguin, and I had an arc of this one as part of their first to read program, but I never got to it. So, of course, it expired. It went bye-bye. I was sad. But I did manage to get a copy of it in the library. Libraries are a great resource. Support them. Um, and I have to say, I loved it. It's so different from what I normally read, and I think it's great to always kind of step out of what you normally read to read something else. And that is what, sorry, I'm trying to multitask. Lots of work to do today. That's what I think is great about this novel, because it is a little outside of my comfort. It's a mystery. But there's a little fantasy in there with these magical cats that can literally walk through walls, and they help a librarian who, by the way, has my dream life. She's a librarian. I would just love to be a librarian, let me just say. But I think it's great that she's a librarian and people kind of ask her, like, hey, can you look into this crime? Instead of just going to the police. And they're like, you always have a knack for discovering things. And she's like, all right, I'll look into it. I'll see what I can find out. She does a lot of digging, and she solves the crime with the help of her magical kitties. And I love that. I love it so much. It's it is, as you would imagine, it is a thriller, kind of. But there's lots of, alright, let me say this. Let me start over. You don't have to read every single book in a series to read this one. If you don't want to read the entire series, that's totally fine, and you just want to read this one, fine, go ahead, read it. It's great. Just read it. And it's just what I think is, it's imaginative. It is imaginative. It is really worth the read. And you don't have to read the entire series. Like I said, I started with book 9. And I kind of want to go back and read the first 8 books, but when do I even have the time, Full-time manager, although not right now. I'm totally feeling that with my paychecks. But, I do want to read them. I'll probably get audiobook versions of them. But I love the voices. I love these main characters. I love how Kathleen is a librarian. And her cats, the rescues, they're named Owen and Hercules. I like how she lives in this really small community. Like, I've lived in a city all my life, and I kind of just want to live in a small little community where I can just, walk down the street, somewhere like Stars Hollow. Yeah, I've been watching lots of Gilmore Girls lately. I would love to live like that. I don't want everyone in my business, but it's unavoidable, so you gotta take what, I do want to live in, like, a small community and just work at a library and just, like, live my life. But she's living my dream life. And I love that the atmosphere. It's so very homey. It's so really warm. This is a novel you kind of just want to sit down have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and curl up to. A nice big fluffy sweater and a blanket. That's the feel you get from reading this novel. You just want to curl up to it. You just want to lose yourself in it because it has that really warm, cozy atmosphere to it as you're reading it. And that's kind of what makes me want her life even more because, yes, there's been another murder. It sucks. It's tragic. But the community comes together. They stay unified. They don't turn on one another. And I thought that was lovely that they all stick together for this. I feel like I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I am rambling. I apologize. That's what I feel with this story. I feel really homey. I feel at home. I feel cozy. I feel like I want to take Kathleen's life and live it. In my dreams, maybe. That's what I think is really good about this story. How engaging it is, and how thought-provoking, and how imaginative it is. And I love the steps. I like how Sophie Kelly, she plants little bits of information, as you would with any mystery, lots of red herrings. And then at the end, I guessed who it was. I was just like, oh, it's totally this person. But my motive was completely wrong. And I love that. My whole world was just turned upside down because I was incorrect. I was wrong when it came to the why. My who was right. My why was wrong. And I think that was really cool. I like when my predictions are kind of flipped on their head and you're like, what? I didn't see that coming at all, to be perfectly honest with you. I was completely blown away. But that's what I liked about it. I like how the story keeps you on edge. It's not completely 100% predictable. If you're carefully reading it and put all the clues together, again, it's a mystery. And I love Clue, both the Tim Curry movie and the game. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge Clue fan. And that's, if you saw my YouTube video for In the Study with the Wrench, I'm a Clue fan. But I like a good mystery when I can't solve it. Really looking forward to Death in the Nile. Can't wait to see that movie, by the way. I like when something's not completely predictable. If you're able to solve bits of it, maybe the who, maybe the when, the what, I think that's good. Because it keeps you engaged, because now you want to know, am I right? Who is it? Who murdered them? And you have to figure out who the red herrings are. You have to figure out the motive. There's a lot to figure out. But the author just doesn't hand it to you. She trickles it in, and even after a second read, because I went through it twice to see if maybe I could have solved it at the end. No, still wrong. And that's what's interesting about the story. That's what I think is engaging about the writing here. How it's not completely engaging. Not completely predictable. It's engaging. As for the characters, I think Kathleen's great. She's really relatable. She stays true to her friends. She loves coffee. She's a huge coffee addict. Not so much tea, but coffee, yes. I definitely relate to that. If you didn't just see my cauldron of coffee right there. And I think it's great how she's really respectful of her boyfriend, who is a detective, also trying to solve this same crime. And I love their relationship as well, how they respect each other's boundaries. And it's just like, he's just like, you're going to look into this, aren't you? And she's like, maybe. And he's like, okay, just give me any information you do come across and don't get into any trouble. He's really just kind of respectful of her space and who she is as a person. He honors her with that. That's what I like about their relationship. And then you have the cats. They're so cute. They're just cute. I'm a cat person. You've seen my cats. My cats have been in these videos before, I think. Maybe? No, they have. They definitely have. But that's what I like about their, relationship and their dynamic and how they, sorry, my hair's starting to get really frizzy. It's really stormy outside. Kind of starting to look like winter. Who knew that could happen in Florida? But anyway, um, I think it's great how they have a strong bond and respectful relationship. And I also think it's great that her friends respect her so much and have so much belief in her to be like, hey, we kind of want you to look into this. Just do a little investigation. And she's like, I'm not really a cop. And they're like, please, you're just so brilliant. And she is. Kathleen is brilliant. She's incredibly clever. She's incredibly down to earth. She's really relatable. Again, I want her life. And I think that's what makes this a compelling novel. It's perfectly paced. It's not too long. It's not too short. Let me see if I can look up how many pages it is. Here we go. Hardcover edition. But I think it's only 304 pages. That's like a breeze. So yeah, I mean, it was a fun read. It was fun. The rising tension was great. It just keeps on rising until the end, and you're just like, when you find out who and why and when and with what weapon. I think that was pretty cool. I do. I do like rising tension in a story. But, definitely recommend this. Even if mysteries aren't really your thing, if you like cute kitties and respect rising tension and just want to lose yourself in that cozy atmospheric reading, this is definitely the novel to pick up because it has all of those things. Again, this isn't really something I read a lot of the time. I'm really picky with when it comes to stepping outside my norm of what I want to read. I'm really picky. I do love high fantasy. I used to read Dragonlance all the time, and that's not young adult at all. Which, by the way, I need more Dragonlance books in my life. If anyone, needs to hear that, Margaret Wise, Tracy Hickman, please release those 2 new books. Please, I need to read them. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to stepping outside of young adult fantasy or young adult fiction, I'm really, really picky about what I like. And this is definitely something I like. I like cute kitties, I like warm, cozy atmospheres, and I like a good mystery. I really do. You might not think it, but I really do like a good mystery. So this ticked off everything for me, and I definitely love it. So on that note, this was The Cats Came Back by Sophie Kelly. I'm going to give it 4 stars. Didn't completely wow me, but I did lose myself in it. It did leave me feeling all warm and cozy. Definitely one of those cozy reads to read. So once again, 4 stars. If you want to go ahead and purchase the book, I will include a link to purchase the book on bookshop.org in the description below. Money's tight, which trust me, hours cut at work. Paychecks are feeling it. Please check out the book from your local library. Libraries are a great resource for the community and definitely deserve all our support. And I hope you all will continue to support me by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and sharing it with all your book-loving friends. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.